Boo! Did I get you? Happy Halloween, my Facebook family and friends, and welcome to the spooky book chat video. I've got some books that'll give you thrills and chills. I hope everybody is enjoying the spooky season by watching those spooky, scary movies and figuring out your wonderful costumes and what you're going to be and picking those picking those pumpkins to make some creepy, creative pumpkins. Before we get into this frightfully good video, I would like to share with you some fun little book stuff. The first thing that I would like to talk to you about is that recently I finished reading the last book that I have in my rereads of rereading all of my books, and these are only 2 of my bookcases, 3 actually, Amy, I can't count. I have 2 more bookcases, and if you are new to my channel, I want to say 2 years ago, I decided to challenge myself to reread all the books that I have. And like I said a few weeks ago, I finished the last book, and that book was Fractures in Ink by Helena Hunting. This is an amazing book. If you love good romance and drama, this is the book for you. It has adult themes in it, so this is probably too spicy for younger readers, but if this is something that, if the cover looks interesting, you will not be disappointed in it, and not just because of the awesome art cover. The story is just a beautiful story. I don't want to get into it right now because I don't want to spoil it. If you are interested in this book, it is a standalone. It is just a beautiful, beautiful romance book, and I would highly suggest giving it a try if you want something new and exciting. Now that I have reread all of my books, yes, every single one of them, I recently got a book from a friend named Caroline, and she gave me this awesome book. It is called Pirates: The True and Surprising Stories of the Pirates of the Caribbean and Blackbeard the Pirate, Terror of the Seas, by Patrick, and I'm going to spell the last name for you, Auerbach. This is a very fast read. I am loving it so far. Very cool, fun facts. Very interesting, fast read. I'm enjoying it to the max. Learning things I didn't know about pirates. And it's a very fun ride, so I cannot wait to read more about it. And now into the spooky books. Now, all of these books, I am not normally a scary, excuse me, Pete, Jane, stop it. Pardon me. A scary horror thriller kind of gal. That's just not my thing. But all of these books I've read and enjoyed and really liked, so just keep that in mind. If you're kind of new to the horror genre, I guess it's not really horror, the scary thriller, whodunit kind of stories, these are the books for you. I tried to get a good mix. Like I said, I don't really have too many horror, scary books like that, but I did get a good selection. So we're going to start off with something that maybe sounds silly, but this is a kid's book, and it is called Hackety Peg by Audrey Wood and illustrated by Dawn Wood. Now, this book as a child creeped me out. It gave me nightmares. It gave me bad dreams. Not nightmares. It gave me bad dreams. And it is about 7 children named the days of the week, and they live in a village, and the mother tells them to stay at home, don't open the door for strangers, and a witch comes along and she does something to the children. I am not going to say what it is because big spoiler alert, but this book creeped me out as a child. Sometimes even now it gives me the heebie-jeebies, because not only was the story a kind of a creepy story, I'll admit it is a creepy story, but the illustrations are super detailed, and my imagination just took flight with it. I mean, this is just one of the illustrations. Beautiful detail. As an adult, beautiful, absolutely detail. I absolutely love it. Let me show you here is a I don't want to give too much away with the illustrations, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea. Look at the beautiful details, and it is just amazing. But this story creeped me out as a child. Even now, sometimes my husband still teases me and he uses a voice, and it just gives me heebie-jeebies. So if you are looking to start, maybe, or even as if you are interested in getting your kids kind of into the more creepy, like spookier stuff, I would actually give this book a try, and to see how it goes, because for me it just really, really gave me heebie-jeebies and I could not sleep. So that is the first book. The second book I would like to share with you is called Blood, Life, Death, Destiny by K.J. Wignall. This book is about a vampire who wakes up, and obvious things have changed since his death, and he has to try to figure out a mystery, and it takes place in the modern world, so there are tons of new things he has to adjust to, and there's a really good plot twist. Not too much on the gory side, more of a thrills, chills kind of feels to this book, and I absolutely love it. I believe there is a second book to this, and I so need to get my hands on it because I absolutely love this book, but it definitely gives you chills, eerie, kind of unsettling feelings, plus there's a good mystery, and it definitely gives you Halloween vibes. The next book I would like to share with you is a book by Neil Gaiman, and it's called Coraline. And if you haven't seen the movie, or if you've seen the movie, the movie's based on the book, excuse me. And it is absolutely fascinating. I love this book. It's very creepy, eerie, kind of. It is about a girl named Coraline who isn't as happy with her life. Her parents kind of ignore her, and she's not necessarily the focal point of the family. And she finds a door that leads to a different world where everything is happy, and she has a different set of parents that cater to her every need, but she quickly finds out that things are always what they seem, and there is a darker side to this world that she has to discover how to defeat. And I absolutely love this book. I absolutely love the movie as well. Again, this is a kind of a good starter if you are wanting to read more creepy, scary movies. It's not really scary, but just like heebie-jeebie, eerie, unsettling. I absolutely love this book, and I would highly recommend it. The next book is an oldie but a goodie, and that is a classic, and it is by Washington Irving, and I am talking to you about Kids. Stop. Sorry, my kids are just little overactive today. And that book is called The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Other Writings by Washington Irving. This is my copy, and we all know the story of Ichabod Crane and the Headless Horseman. This just has a wonderful, wonderful, not only get you in the mood for Halloween, because it takes place kind of on All Hallows Eve, which is so perfect for Halloween, and it just gives you, Washington Irving does such a good job creating the atmosphere with and creating an unsettling feeling, it's very eerie, and it doesn't put your mind at ease. It makes your mind hyper aware, at least for me when reading this book. And it's so good. I absolutely love this book. Also, there's a wonderful audiobook I listened to once, again, with The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and that just added to it because the audiobook had sounds, and it just was, it so put you in the place next to Ichabod Crane, and I absolutely loved it. But if you are looking to get into something more classic for Halloween, definitely read The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. And the last book that is definitely Halloween vibes and more of a feeling is this book that I bought at a thrift store, and it is called Obsessed by Jo Gibson. This is not only a new to me book, but a new to me author, and I freaking loved this book. And I am not a thrills, murder kind of gal, but this book changed my mind. There is also 2 more books in this series, and I still want to get my hands on those. It is so good. It is about a group of high schoolers, and they work at this club where they can show off their talent in the singing music department, and the girls all have a crush on a certain high schooler, and they decide that whichever girl can get the guy to make them their girlfriend for 2 weeks wins bragging rights, basically. And some of the girls try to do it to become the guy's boyfriend, but also mysteriously the girls he starts dating wind up dead, and it is such a good, you think it's going one way and it takes a huge twist and turn, and I was not expecting how it ended. Again, I am new to the thing, so if you are an a pro at like mystery thrillers. This may not be a surprise to you who ends up being the murderer, but I absolutely loved it. It gives you it reminds me of like high school horror movies, sort of, where like it takes place in high school, but it doesn't seem cheesy. There's no and I love that. It was so good. I read it cover to cover. I couldn't put it down. So if this sounds like something that you would like to read, I would highly recommend it. I so again want to read the other two books in this series. So that's all the books for now, but I would like to take some time to share with you a little bit more bookish, not related to Halloween vibes and creepy and scary things. I also wrote a book, if you are new to my channel, and it is a fantasy adventure story, and it is called Legends, Orbs of the Elements. If you like the stories, fantasy stories, like that have a Robin Hood-esque like feel, that have a sort of Lord of the Rings feel, but not Lord of the Rings feel. Same thing with Robin Hood. It gives it more like medieval vibes and just questing, adventure. The Sword of Truth series, if anybody is familiar with that. That's kind of the feel and the vibe of that. And if you are interested, or if you know somebody that is interested in this book, it can be found on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Apple iBooks, and lots of other places books can be sold. I am currently writing the sequel to this story, and I'm so proud of it. If you give me 1 minute, I'm going to read the back to you so you have some idea what this book is about. And then I am going to be reading a couple chapters of this book. It says, Leon of the Western Plains thought he was like any other young man. He is content learning his father's business as a hunting guide. There is nothing Leon enjoys more than being out with his father on the wide open plains with his faithful steed, armed with his trusty bow and arrows. Life was good. Life was simple and predictable. That, however, would soon change when a mysterious young woman arrives at his family's house with an unusual request. Leon at first rejects what the guest has to say to him. Surely this woman has the wrong person. His parents wouldn't keep secrets from him, would they? The winds of fate are not blowing in Leon's favor when a life-threatening situation happens with his family. It leaves Leon with no choice but to join forces with the mysterious young woman in a life-changing magical quest that could reshape their world. Pete Anderson! Unbeknownst to Leon, Prince Nero of the Northern Highlands craves more power and territories. There is no denying he rules with an iron fist and dark magic. Aided by both a dark wizard and witch, he desires to rule the entire world and will slaughter any who resist. He fears no one, nothing. Who or what could stand up against Nero's mighty magical warriors? So that is what it is about, and I am going to read to you a couple chapters, so sit back and enjoy. Chapter 47. Leon was getting his horse ready the next morning when Constilia approached him. Leon was stunned when he awoke from sleep, how refreshed he felt after the party they had in the temple the previous night. The temple returned to its original appearance, old and crumbling. We must travel fast as we can. I sense things are going to be getting much worse, and Nero knows we're going to come for him. Castilia's voice was full of seriousness. For the first time, she seemed worried for the both of them. Leon put an assuring hand on his companion and friend's shoulder. We will make it, and you and I will end Nero's reign forever. They each set to work on packing their animals with only the supplies they absolutely needed. They did this task in silence. Leon tried to lighten the mood. So, did you have a good night last night with Seal? Castilia stiffened and paused from packing a saddlebag and stole a glance at him. What is that supposed to mean? Never mind. She let out a sigh and continued. If you must know, we spent the night talking about... Geez, it seems so strange to say, but you and how far you have come. You've accomplished a lot, and I'm so proud to call you friend. Leon was slightly embarrassed, not that Castilia had called him friend, that she was proud of him, and that was extremely high praise coming from a legend with way more experience in this area than himself. Leon coughed and Castilia raised a brow. Are you disappointed I'm not gushing about how Seal looked in his clothes or how it felt when we danced? Well, my friend, it is between Seal and myself, she said with a wink, and came near him and rubbed his hair with her hand in a playful gesture. They laughed and were finishing their packing when two familiar voices were heard behind him. Well, if it isn't the hunter and legend. The first voice had a more calm, sensible tone to it. It belonged to Ripplin. Yes, it does me good to see them. Leon and Castilia now turned around. The second voice belonged to no other than Oakland, the flyer. They embraced one another. The four chatted for a few minutes before Seal came up to the group. Once everyone was briefed on the mission, both Castilia and Leon mounted their steeds. Seal first approached Leon. Good luck, my friend. May the elements protect you. Leon leaned down and shook Seal's hand firmly. Seal next came to Castilia. He said the same farewell to her. She nodded politely, and he stepped closer to her and spoke in the language of the legends. Nostro Irgmato. Castilia just looked in his eyes and was clearly moved, while Leon was clearly a little uncomfortable with the tender moment between the two. All she could do was nod and moved her horse into action of a trot. Leon couldn't understand the words, but he did know it had to do with affection. With affection, a blind man could see the feeling between the two was more than friendship. He followed Castilia out of the temple and toward the fortress of Nero that loomed up from the far-away mountain. Chapter 44. After they were gone, both Oakland and Ripplin sat down with a few other legends that had stayed along with some beasts as well. Spirits of the fallen legends, led by Trigger, were also present. They had a detailed discussion on how best to aid the hunter and legend on their mission. By nightfall, they had a plan of action for the long days ahead. I hope Jacob comes soon with the elves. We will need all the help we can get, Trigger said, as the others murmured their agreement. So that is just a little taste of my book. Again, if you or someone you know loves fantasy stories, likes the Fallen Kingdom stories, then you guys will probably love the book that I wrote. Again, it's called Legends, Orbs of the Elements. I am so proud of this book. Once again, I am also working on the sequel to this story. So if you want to find out what happens, what are legends, then I would definitely suggest picking up a copy of my book. That's all the video for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody has a spooktacular Halloween. If you like this video, please give it a big like and subscribe. Tell your friends and family. I will be doing more fun Halloween themed videos, so stay tuned for that. In the comments down below, let me know what book looked like something you would be interested in reading, or tell me down below what book you like to read that gets you in the Halloween spooky season feels and vibes. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you ghouls and ghosts in my next video. Bye-bye for now, everybody.